exhibition is a special way of experiencing things, in space and time, which is quite unique, I think.
Voices by Philippe Parreno at Haus der Kunst is the next stage of contemporary art exhibitions. It's a journey into the unknown. It's a journey into a landscape that is partially familiar, in which everything talks to each other. Philippe Parreno has been working on voice all over his career. In fact, when we started working on this show, Voices, we collected all his works and we found out that actually voice is a theme that runs through all his work. We produced a little book that is called Voices, which looks as a sort of retrospective of his practice. So in specific, in the show Voices, what we wanted to do is to give voice, on the one hand, to this building, on the other one, to create a sort of choreography, a scenario of works that were all interconnected through voice. We involved the most recognizable voice in Germany, Susanne Daubner.
When you recognize somebody, a member of a family or dear friend, it's never really the semantic or the word, whatever they recognize. It's really the prosody. The prosody is the musicality of the voice. That's what makes you, you. So in a way, all these data, all these signals, everything that you receive are all filtered through the musicality of the voice of Susanne Daubner.
To speak out a language that is somehow familiar, but also non-familiar. And this language, the public will be encountering throughout the exhibition. This wall is the first sign of the exhibition. We can look at the wall, we can cast shadow through the light the wall will be producing, we can relax. And then when we enter the first room, we encounter a sort of transparent element that is reacting, talking, and apparently listening.
So here we have 11 rooms and one main room, which is where you have the film now, and then all around you have this satellite, where the show is spinning. So the dramaturgy of the exhibition is given by the space.
Perhaps the most striking will be elements that are crawling up towards the ceiling and somehow opening up to the rooftop.
You have those fake glass ceilings, So I was tempted to look up all the time to say, why there's no. And so the show in a way became literally a show which is hanged, everything is suspended.
And put us as audience in a position of floating more than meandering and reading. The main question we ask the public is that one of making an effort. And the effort is trying not to go from one room to the other looking for an artwork. The idea, the suggestion is trying to roam through the galleries, trying to engage with everything, take the time.
And we as the viewers, in a way, are walking around those things that speak to each other, And we are the witness of this kind of strange conversation that happen between those objects and situations. Does that make sense? In my head, it makes sense.
And the glue of the show is that symphony, this harmonic symphony of sounds that will merge and connect everything. There is then a human glue, and the human glue are the two dancers by Tino Segal, that are a component of the show, that will be walking around the galleries. And this will be somehow the point that connect everything. So then the question to the public will be, are we ready to engage with that different status? Are we ready to speak to someone who doesn't seem completely human? And are we ready to follow someone, or do we prefer to betray this follow? That's an open question, but this is perhaps the main and exciting step of the show.
No beginning, no end, no middle. Just a lot of moments to experience.